Welcome back, folks. Today we're working on the Ranger again, and what we want to do first is take the shifter linkage off and convert that over to manual. So we'll get rid of the automatic shifter that's in the steering column. Be sure that you have a chalk behind your rear wheels before you take a shifter linkage out. Okay, folks, and this is what we're working with. We're going to take and eliminate the shifter. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to take this panel off here, and there's just a few bolts underneath here that we need to take off, and we'll take this off right here. These bolts are a T20. Next step is removing this metal plate. These are 8mm. Okay, next step is to take this plastic trim off, and what we'll have is we've got 3 holes that have a Phillips screw, 1, 2, and 3. Now this one right here is for the ignition release, and we'll have to take the ignition off. So I'm going to try to do this holding the camera. And let's see here. So we have to take and fill that groove. I think I've got it in. Okay. Now pulls right out. Alright, so I got the 3 screws unscrewed, and I've got the ignition out. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and take this here off, and it just unscrews. I've had this replaced not too long ago, so it screws pretty easy. But if you're trying to do yours, then they can be on there pretty tight. Now the next step, I always like to screw this back in. That way I can use my tilt without the cover. So that cover just fell off, and then I can screw this back in right here. Okay, now we can just pull this back and tilt it all the way down, and should be able to slide this off. Well, we'll take this trim off next. So to do that, let's see here. We will take this off, which requires two a bolt there and a bolt there, and then there, and there. Okay, and these are 7mm. All right, I've got all the bolts, or screws, I'm sorry, all the screws out, and so I'll grab it right here, and the trim just pops out. You can grab it right in here. Just be careful, they get brittle with time, and they can crack, damage real easy. But you should just maneuver out and set it to the side. And right there, just pop that out, and take this out right here. Now this trim here should come right off. Should. There we go. And there's that off. Alright, now we'll see what we're looking at. We got a strap here, then we got a strap in the back there. To get to those, we're going to have to drop this whole steering column. So let's see what there is involved in that. Now, looks like we've got a bolt, let's see, right here, and on the other side, let's see, right there, and we got a bolt over here. So I will find out what those size those are, and we'll get back. these are a 13 millimeter. This one here. Okay, now we can access this strap here and this strap back here, and we're going to eliminate all this linkage in the steering column. Okay, so those were T27. They might be T30. T27 was a little loose on there, but I took those out, and I've taken that strap off that was right here. And if you look all the way back, you can see that shifter cable coming up to that arm. I'm going to move it for you. See that shifter arm? I don't know how well you can see anything, but you can kind of see my hand up above this right here. And this is a shifter cable. Looks like I'm going to have to take this off, which is the same Torx as the straps were. And then I've also got my cable for my overdrive. So you can see how I've slid that automatic shifter linkage out from underneath. This switch, I put the ignition, tighten that down, and put the ignition in there. So this switch, when it locks the, so I've got the manual cover on it. It needs cleaned. I'll clean it. But these set down, these little towers right here, kind of, let's see, right here, you can see that right there. They set down a little metal bracket, and that way you know it's in place. And there's one on the other side as well, which is right, if I can adjust the camera to where it needs to be, which is right here. It's actually right there. You can see that little tower, and that goes right in that groove. All right, so now for this lower trim, I'm going to use the same panel that came off of it because it has tilt, and this lower panel has a slot for that tilt to come through. So we're going to just slide this up into place. It should just pop and hold it for now. Let's see. Here. Okay. This will screw in here. I just get a hand tight, that's good enough. And then screwdriver. Right side we got that. Okay, so now we have a converted column, which is no shifter. Yes, it needs cleaned, but that's what it is. And I was able to salvage, the top is off the manual parts truck, and the bottom's off of my off this truck. Oh, this is Ranger. The reason I didn't use the parts truck one is it didn't have a tilt. I wanted to keep my tilt, so I was able to make this work. And so if you're thinking about converting your truck from an automatic to a manual and think you might need a steering column, you think again. You may not. I was able to convert my automatic steering column to a manual just by changing a few parts on it. Now some steering columns are in some makes and models need to be changed. You have to change the whole column, but in my case I was able to convert it. And most Fords in the mid-90s all the way up to the in the 2000s I don't know specifically what year models, but I would say at least until 2008 are all pretty common, even in the F-150s and in the Super Duties. They have a lot of steering columns are built the same, so you may be able to convert yours. Well, I appreciate you watching, and stay tuned to part 3, because part 3 is coming here for too long.